Okay, I think we're live now. I hope we're live now. So it's been a while. Been a while since we've done this. This is all. I've got new software. I've got new camera setups, and I'm trying to figure it all out. It should make it all go quite a bit smoother for me. Make it a little bit more exciting for you, I'm hoping. The last time we were on the Artistic Biker Live, this is what we did. Except I don't even think I did that one live. I think I did it I think I did it and filmed it and uploaded it. But we did some. I have a mannequin that I drew, and I did some gestures. Did some gesture drawings. But shoot, that was back in July, and it may have been July of 2020. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But anyway, it's been a while. And so we're going to take it slow tonight. I've got some randomogrifier stuff I want to do, and I'm going to draw. I've pulled an egg out of the randomogrifier. I don't know if you're familiar with the randomogrifier. If you're not familiar with the randomogrifier, if you're new to the show, I have a box over here full of these toys that I can't tell what they are until I open the egg. And so I have an egg here, and we're going to open it and see what it is we're going to draw tonight. And I started this practice because it started with drawing Everyday Matters and trying to figure out what to draw every day. Daily drawing practice is a must. Oh, look, it's a zombie skeleton. Daily drawing practice is a must if you're going to improve. And so, but you inevitably run into that point where you just don't know what you're going to draw. You just have no idea what it is you want to draw. And so I started collecting these little toys, and I started pulling them out of a bag at random, and that way I could just say, this is what I'm drawing next. I didn't have to stop and think about it. I didn't have to worry about what I was going to draw next. And so it made it a whole lot easier just to pick up and drive on, just to start doing it. And so here we are, drawing a random object. And so I like to start with can you see that? You can't see that. Lines and circles and ovals and stuff, so that I can just get kind of a warm up. That way I can get kind of warm up going. So I'm gonna start with that. It gets my hand-eye coordination warmed up. Plus, it helps me practice drawing circles. When you draw small like this, if you're going to do a daily drawing habit, I recommend drawing small because it makes it a whole lot easier to finish drawing in a reasonable amount of time. The biggest complaint most people have is, I don't have time to draw daily. Well, if you're drawing small like this, it should only take you 10-15 minutes, and you should be able to block out 10 or 15 minutes every day. Or, I mean, you think you would if for something that you think that you're saying is important to you. You'd think you'd be able to block out 10 or 15 minutes a day. And so the smaller you draw, the faster it goes, the faster it is to get her done. But you don't have to. You don't have to do a complete drawing. You can set your timer and go for set your timer for 5 or 10 minutes and just draw for 5 or 10 minutes, and wherever you are at the end of that 5 or 10 minutes, you're just done. If it's at all possible, maybe leave that object set up, come back to it tomorrow. If that's possible. It may not be possible. Maybe you're sketching on the bus. Maybe you're Maybe you're at the park drawing while you're letting your kids have their play date because you don't want to interact with the other parents. You know, maybe you're sitting at a bar drinking beer, drawing a salt shaker, and it won't be there. You know, you won't be back tomorrow. That's okay. But if that's your case, then it's not likely that you're limited to 5 or 10 minutes, huh? Because if that's the case, you've probably got 20 to 30 minutes that you could spend some time just drawing whatever's in front of you. Or you could do like I do and just have a bunch of these little toys and carry 5 or 6 of them around with you in your drawing bag. I don't do that because I have this box of them back over here. But you could. Those are options that you could do. These circles and ovals and lines, for me, the importance of them are to develop hand-eye coordination and to make sure that I'm managing the pencil properly. Because you see, I'm kind of far back. I'm not holding it down here at the tip where you write. I'm holding it kind of far back, and that lets me vary the pressure. That helps me create some line variation. But it takes some practice to manage a pencil from that far back. And so that's what this is. This just helps you do that. I find that when I draw, if I draw up here, I've got my fingers going, I've got several axes on my fingers going, I've got my wrist going, I've got my elbow going, I've got my shoulder going, I've got all these different things going that I have to coordinate to mess up. But if I come back here, I can keep my wrist straight. I can even kind of lock my elbow, and I can just kind of draw from my shoulder, and so that kind of limits all of the other nonsense. So it kind of stops. It's not perfect because you're working small, right? So you still have to kind of get in there to make the marks. But this is a 4B. This is a mechanical pencil with 4B 5mm lead, 0.5mm lead in it. And I like this pencil because it has a tricky tip that we put pressure on. When you take the pressure off of it, the tip turns. And so it always keeps your tip sharp. It always keeps rotating your tip to keep your tip sharp. So I like that feature. There's no rum in my coffee. I'm losing weight. All right. So now we've got our warm-ups out of the way. Like I said, this shouldn't take more than 20 minutes, the size that I'm working with. So I make a point, like I said, I make a point to work small so that I can get her done, if you will. I'm basically just making some gesture lines to show where I want everything to go. Can't talk arting. So you can see I've already got, I don't know, maybe you can't see. If you can't see, I already have some adjustments already from, like the bow has to move closer to him because I drew him too far away from his bow. But now I can start working on, I've got the placement in, I can start working on the details. I don't normally stand them up. Normally I just throw them up there on the platform, and however they land is how I draw them. But this time I decided to stand him up. So there'll be some erasing at the end. Hi, Miss Sally. I haven't been live in a long time. Miss Sally's in the chat room. I haven't been live in a very long time. How you been? How you been? How have you been? How you been? It's like I haven't spoken to a real live person in 100 years, ever. I've been good, she says, and thanks for playing along. That was nice. I don't feel so bad. She said, I've been good. Yeah, I haven't been live in a very long time. My kids outgrew it, but my son, my youngest son, has kind of made noises. He wants to do it again. He wants to have his own YouTube channel because he does origami. And so he doesn't necessarily want to start his own webcast, but he wants to webcast with me and do his origami. So I think that'd be fun. So we're probably going to start doing it again. This little skeleton that I'm drawing is way more detailed than I would have given credit for. This is fun stuff right here. It's got all the little bones in place. It's really very neat. This one is This is a pirate zombie skeleton. This one is not a tube. This one is from a collection that I got to shoot a pirate commercial 100 years ago. But I just took all the pirates and all the zombies and all the everything and threw them in eggs and put them in the randomogrifier. So it's pretty cool. I can't stress the importance of, I can't overemphasize rather, the importance of daily drawing like this. It's how you get to see how things really fit together, so that when you're drawing from a photo reference, you're not just dependent on what the camera captured, because the camera will capture everything, but it won't tell you what it is. It won't tell you what the focal point is. It won't show you how to treat the edges. It won't show you it just throws everything down for you to copy, and you will do so. It will black out the shadows so that they look like dark shadows to you, but it'll black them out, and you won't be able to see the detail that's inside, and you won't know to look for the detail that's inside because you don't draw from life. So I try to draw from life as often as possible. It's been tough this last couple of years. I mean, I don't want to get on the sad sack bandwagon, but my figure drawing, my drawing naked people classes, labs have been canceled. I haven't been able to get out and draw any naked people. And that's no fun. So I've been drawing a bunch of them from pictures. Yeah, you do, Miss Allie. You need to do more drawing in 2022. And you need to send me pictures of it. Send me pictures of your drawings to blade@artisticbiker.com, and I'll put them on the webcast as what's on your easel. I need to see exactly that. I need to see what people are doing, because I miss it. I absolutely miss it. Working in the dark like this, I have the backlights turned off so that I don't get too many shadows, but it makes it hard to it makes it hard to kind of see what I'm doing sometimes. So now I'm going to start filling in the shadows. I haven't done what's on your easel. It's easy to forget that I about what's on your easel because I haven't done a show. In so very, very long. So it's easy to forget that. Can't talk, Harding. But we're going to remedy that. I've changed my profession. Right when the plague hit, they eliminated my job. And so there's some good points to that and some bad points to that. The good thing is I am now free to pursue an art career. The bad thing is trying to figure out how I'm going to feed my beautiful family with no job. Luckily, my wife's a school teacher. She has a nice job, and we're blessed with that. So, but that doesn't make it any less scary. Anyway, point of story. There were some of the downsides to the job that I had. I was in executive sales. I don't know if you know that or not, but I was in executive sales, and there's a decorum that you're expected to adhere to that says things like, don't show off your tattoos. don't make TikTok videos of you dancing naked in front of the refrigerator. Well, I don't have to adhere to that anymore. So now I can make videos of me dancing naked in front of the refrigerator. I'm not saying I will, but I'm also not saying that I haven't already. Anyway, I've been training for a job as a forklift operator, which shouldn't take any training whatsoever, except that it has been so long since I spent any reasonable amount of time on a forklift that I had to be retrained. And then I dropped my container on my test, so I couldn't start work. And that was right before Christmas. And so I'm waiting until after the Christmas holiday to go back and complete the training and take the test. And like I said, thankfully my wife has a good job, good paying job. It pays much better here in Texas than it did in Oklahoma, that's for sure. Now, that's in shadow. That's in shadow. There's a shadow that goes across here, and it goes back across here. So yeah, I know there's people that have it really bad right now. And I'm not gonna lie, things aren't perfect here. But things could be totally worse. And I'm just happy that they are not. There's a shadow here. That's one of the nice things about this, though, is I can do this and I can kind of forget about it for a few minutes anyway. At least 20 while I draw this, right? Shadows are funny. Yeah, freedom. Exactly. And look at the plus side. Shadows are funny. They're supposed to be darker than anything else you've got going on your drawing. But I find that when I do that, it doesn't look as accurate. I find especially on this little stage that I made, because my shadow is on white background while my object is not white. And so the last thing I have to do is go around and make sure that my object is not white. Except in places where the light is reflected. Now, when I was doing this in the last book, I did it in ink. And whatever I drew, I was stuck with. That thumping noise is my dog upstairs, allergic to herself. I have 3 dogs. I'm surprised you can hear it. I have 3 dogs, and they're all 3 upstairs laying down. Well, I think so. Yeah, they're all 3 upstairs laying down. They're mad at me because it's 10:45 at night, and they're mad at me because I didn't go upstairs and go to bed because it's past bedtime, and they know that it's past bedtime, and so they're mad. But she's upstairs. I've already given her Benadryl. She's upstairs, and this is if I don't give her Benadryl, she will do it all night long. She doesn't do it during the day, but something happens at night. You'd think I would have warmed up this kneaded eraser before I started. This kneaded eraser is not very nice. I think I'm gonna trade this one out for one that's not quite so stiff. But you'd think I would have warmed it up before the show. Kid playing basketball. It could have been a kid playing basketball, but no, it's a dog. And I feel so bad for her. I think she's about 12. And I'm convinced she's blind. My wife doesn't think so, but I'm convinced she's blind. And I don't think she can hear either. And I say that because in the mornings, when we get up to go outside, she doesn't move, and then she's startled when I touch her. So I think because that pencil's 4B, it just comes right off with the kneaded eraser. And because I was holding it so far back, I didn't put any pressure. There's no grooves on the paper, so it lets me take this eraser and trim that all right up. Trim off all them extraneous lines that make it look messy. I couldn't do this in the last book because the last book that I did it all in ink, so I had to be more careful with my marks. And I like to do that, so when I draw my pinups at night, that's what that's about. Is I do those in ink. I don't pre-draw them with pencil and then go back over them. I just do them in ink so that I can develop the drawing skills to control my lines. And if I went slower, I could have done most of this without issue. But one of the things I don't like about graphite is to me it's fuzzy and it's shiny. You can see I'm having a tilt. I don't know if you can you see there's a glare right there. You can see it on camera. I have to, from where I'm sitting, I've got a glare, and so I'm constantly trying to turn it so that I can not be blinded by the glare, but then I also have to deal with my shadow. Now I could probably fix that. Since I don't have to see that right now, I can probably turn that on to eliminate some of the shadow. And I've got this light too, that when I do watercolors, oh yeah, that helps a lot. I don't know what it's doing for you, but it does wonders for me. So I don't know. That's one of the things I don't like about graphite, is that it's, I feel like it's messy. I feel like even if you go through and take the time to make all the lines carefully, you still have cleanup that you have to do that I just don't get that from ink. So, and it may just be that because I like ink better. I like the look of ink better. So I mean, there's that. I need this to be darker than this, but I need this to be darker than this. So I'm going back over the whole thing very lightly, shadow included. If I turn it just a little bit, I can get a different angle. So yeah. That's not so bad. Let's set it up. I'll turn these lights back off. Yeah, and it smudges everywhere. Yeah, I agree. Have to turn these lights back off so you can see it in the same way I see it. All right. So let's get a picture. Well, that shadow's not nearly dark enough. Let's darken that shadow in a little more. Yeah, that. This is a 4B. It should totally be able to create better shadows. But I also don't want to scar the paper. Or score the paper. I guess score the paper is a better. So I'll just slow down, do a little scumbling. And try to get that core of that shadow nice and even. Yeah, I think that's made quite the difference. So let's try that again. There we go. Got to try to see it from the exact same angle that I saw it from. There we go. Now, are we still on? Okay, so why won't that focus? Why won't that focus? I've never had that problem before. Performance anxiety? What? Let's see if it'll do it over here. Okay, so that's what we drew. And then there they are together. So that's it. That's all I wanted to do tonight. Put everything back to where it was. Put that back in its egg. Tape it back up. Throw it back into the randomogrifier. Yeah, it didn't look clear at all in the overhead, but for some reason the face camera was able to focus on it. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Like I said, I got a new camera up there that's supposed to have higher resolution, and I think it does here, but for some reason it doesn't autofocus. Well, no. I mean, it looks like it's trying to. What if there was light? Let's see what would happen if there was light. No. For some reason it just doesn't autofocus up there. But you guys don't care about that. That's just important to me. So the last thing I'm going to do is I have some matte spray. Everybody put your masks on so that you don't inhale any of the Krylon. I'm sorry, I forgot to. Everybody put your masks on so you don't inhale any of the Krylon. Okay, it's all clear. You can take your mask off now. I don't ever wear a mask. I don't ever go anywhere. Alright, so thank you so much for joining me. Next time, we're going to try and do this every Thursday. And the kids are camping with the scouts. So both of them are scouts. They're both on their way to Eagle Scout. So hopefully they'll both be back next week. And maybe they'll join us. Maybe we can clean this area up over here in and they'll join me, and we can do it again. What are we going to do next week? Let's see. Next week will be the first one of 2020. Oh, I'm going to do pinup. I love doing pinups, so we'll do a pinup together. I don't know, did you see my pinup watercolor that I did? If you're following me on Instagram, I'm the Artistic Biker on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, I post these things all the time. I don't know if you're interested in them or not, but I do these every night. Not watercolor, usually they're just ink, but I do those every night. And then last week I posted a video about these things. So if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and then click the like and notifications button here, and follow me, subscribe to me here, who knows what you'll see me do here. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and be sure to tune in next Thursday night, same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. I don't think it'll be 10 o'clock at night. It might be, though. This worked out very well, but we'll have to see what time we're going to do it next week. But anyway, thanks for joining me, Miss Sally. It was a pleasure visiting with you, and we'll see you next week. Mwah.